What do you do when life just is doing the most? When it just does too much? It is going overboard. It's a lot. What in the world do you do? I got a word for you on this morning. I have a word for you on this morning when life do too much, when it's just a lot, when things are happening in such a repeated fashion you can barely catch your breath. Well, if this word isn't for you, it's for somebody else. So you listen so you can share it to somebody else as well. Good morning, everybody. It's time for Morning Manna, and I have a word for you on this morning. Got a word for you on this morning, and maybe you don't need it, but somebody you know needs it, and therefore you want to get the revelation so you can share it with someone else. I'm going to greet some folk, get into the word so we can get a word from the Lord on this morning. What a wonderful morning. Good morning, Elder Jan. How are you? Good morning, Pamela. How are you? Good morning, Elder Mobley. How are you on this morning? Good morning, Brenda. How are you? Good morning, Sint. How are you on this morning, Minister Sint? Good morning, Brother Pope. How are you on this morning? Anna, how are you guys doing on this morning? Good morning. Good morning. Erica, how are you on this morning? What an excellent thirsty Thursday it is. I hope you are thirsty for the word on this morning. Good morning, Ashton. How are you, my brother? My son in the Lord. How's everything? You gonna beat me to work today? I'm sure you are. You're gonna be waiting for when I get there. I already know. Good morning, Yvonne. How are you on this morning? Vicky, how are you on this morning? Carolyn, how are you on this morning? How is everybody on this morning? This morning, I got a word for you on this morning. Good morning, Vicky. How are you doing on this morning? Got a word for you on this morning. And I want you to respond and put it in the chat area. Have you ever been in a situation where it just seemed like this is just a lot? It's just doing life is doing too much right now. It's going overboard. I need a break. I need a breather. Got a word for you on this morning. When life do the most, when life do the most, when life do too much, what in the world do I do when I'm confronted with that kind of a situation? Well, I got a word for you, and you already know. It's the text, the talk, and the takeaway, 5 minutes or less. I want to jump right into it because I have revelation that really you need to grab a hold of. Here's the text. I want you to hear it again for the first time. I want you to hear it again for the first time. You're familiar, but I need you to hear it. Isaiah 59:19b. Isaiah 59:19b. Now, all translations doesn't have this, and King James does, and I like that. I'm not typically a King James person, but he has the word in the way that God has placed it in my heart this morning. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him. Another translation says, the Spirit of Jehovah will lift up a banner. Another translation says, the Spirit of Jehovah will lift up, my God will lift up a banner. Story, and I'll come back. I grew up in United Holy Church of America in North Carolina, principally on the East Coast denomination, where most of the churches are. And in the district that I grew up in, the Southern District, we would have convocation. And in that convocation, we would go to my hometown, Goldsboro, North Carolina, and all of the sub-districts would put up in the headquarters building their banners, and they would be surrounded on the balcony. And on their banners would be the particular district or sub-district that they were from. And it comes from this whole piece of when they went into battle. I don't know whether or not the forefathers of the church knew this, but when they went into battle, they would hold up a banner. They would hold up a banner. Now, what does that mean? Hold on now. I want you to grab this. What it means is that in the tribe system that was organized, and when they were in the wilderness, you're talking about 1.5 million people. You couldn't see, oh my God, where is this tribe? Where is that tribe? Where is this particular? Where's Naphtali? Where is all of these various tribes? When they would lay out, the way they would identify themselves, both in encampment as well as in battle, was the banner. You would see the banner. Now, in the military, we call it a guide arm. A guide arm. The guide arm would always be in the very front so that you could see it. So when you were going into battle, now, if you remember the movie Glory, you remember that Denzel was holding up the flag right to the very end, the banner. What does all of that have to do with you right now? When the enemy comes in, God says, I got a banner and I'm going to fight the battle. And there's three things I want you to grab. I want you to grab this. The first thing there is, when the enemy comes in Psalms 27:2, it says, he will stumble and fall. He will stumble and fall. Psalms 27:2, when he comes, it doesn't mean that he ain't coming. But when he gets close enough to bring some kind of damage to me, he's going to stumble and fall. Psalms 27:2. Now, if he doesn't stumble and fall, in Psalms 121 it says he's going to build up a hedge of protection around me. It's the same thing with respect to warfare. The same thing with respect to warfare. During World War II, they would build up hedges, similar to what they were saying, all embankments around, so that they would then hide behind that, so the enemy couldn't get over that. Or when the enemy came up, then there would be easy targets. Stumble and fall, he's going to put a hedge of protection around me. And here is the revelation I want you to grab. This is the revelation I want you to grab. It is in Isaiah 54:17. 54:17. You already know it. I want you to hear it again for the first time, because so many times you hear it and you say, oh my God, I got it. No weapon that is formed against you shall prosper. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. Now, that's not the revelation. We read it, we quote it, we run with it. Here is the revelation. The revelation is in verse 16, same chapter. Behold, I have created the blacksmith who blows the fire of coals and produces a weapon for its purpose. In 16 is why you know in 17, come on now, is why it's not going to prosper, because God is the one that has permitted and crafted the blacksmith himself that then fashions the weapon. God says, I'm in control of this whole thing. Come here, Job, have a seat and testify. What he says is that I'm so in control, just like in the situation of Job. Job didn't know it, but God was in control from the end to the beginning. So whatever you're dealing with right now, the life you might be up against right now, know that God's got you. That he is going to win the battle. If he created the blacksmith that made the weapon and then turns around and tell you that weapon is not going to prosper, he's saying to you, I'm in complete control of this situation. So when life do the most, do too much, when it's a lot and it keeps coming at you, just know, here's your takeaway. God's got me, Satan, not you. I belong to him. The Lord be with you today. His face shine upon you and give you peace. If it didn't bless you because you are good to go, share this because it's going to bless somebody else. They need to hear it as well. I'll see you tomorrow morning with more Morning Manna.